our balls under our feet today. Because we're focusing first on fascia release. Fascia is a network of goop in our bodies between our skin and our muscles that connects those areas. And it can also hold a lot of tension. So it's important that we're taking some time to release it. And what I'm doing to do that right now is just moving this yoga ball / tennis ball. There could also like specific yoga balls or fascia balls that you can use for this purpose.
Should we stand?
But oh yeah, you can stay seated, guys. Don't feel like you need to stay looking. I'm standing so that the camera can see me. Well, and I'll turn on some yoga music for us as well. So we can get into the zone. Does that sound okay, everyone?
My boyfriend's going to visit tomorrow from Washington State.
Oh, awesome. He's driving
No.
on a plane, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming on a plane.
Yeah, it would take maybe 3 or 4 days. Yep, that's a far trip, even on a plane. So guys, we're starting by moving our fascia around in our feet. This is a great way to ground your body from your feet first. Our fascia has over 250 million nerve endings, and a lot of them are at the bottom of our foot right here. So moving from our toes to our heels, we're starting to wake up our bodies, getting our blood flowing. Taking some deep breaths as we do so, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Great job, guys. I'm going to cut down with you. I'm going to put this down so our friends at home can see what was good. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good holiday season. This is certainly a busy time of year. For many, it can be stressful, or maybe we're facing grief or loss during these times. So we're just taking a minute today to ground ourselves. Like I said, grounding is a native practice where we're literally connecting to the earth through our bodies. So taking it nice and slow and breathing as you do so, finding your center, connecting to your breath. And then we'll stop right here. You can put your feet however is comfortable for you. I'm going to come to an easy seat and just set our balls to the side, because we're going to start to move into some dynamic movements to wake up our upper bodies now. So our focus first is on our lower bodies. We're just going to ground them here to our mat now. Find a cozy seat. I'm sitting in an easy seat with my feet crossed, and we're going to start to move our arms side to side, opening our chest towards the left. Exhaling to the center. Inhale to the right. Taking this as slow or as fast as you prefer. In Qigong, we do a lot of quicker movements, so you can actually extend the arms and start to swing them side to side. This movement is a little quicker. Again, to get our blood flowing, starting to wake up our upper bodies now. So you guys, it's the last week of Advent. Christmas is almost here. Yes, winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. Winter is officially here, guys. So as we begin this season, we are taking a minute to calm and connect. What a crazy time. Our verse of the evening is, "So God so loved the world, for God so loved the world, that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." So you'll see I'm starting to kind of lay into this movement and rest into this movement. So I'm swinging my arms now. I'm just letting my whole body extend to that side where I'm swinging into. My left arm is reaching beside my left side, and my chin is following to open up the left side of my body. Gently pushing with the right hand on the left knee to fully extend into that spinal twist. We'll stay here for 2 breaths. And inhale back to center. Seated up nice and tall. encourage you as you do this, you can close your eyes, really feel that breath. Staying here for one more breath. Then inhaling, again, back to center. Great job, everyone. We'll stay here at center again for just a moment. If you'd like to continue those dynamic movements, you could again use that tennis ball front to back on your foot as we meditate and rest with our breath for just a moment here. Connecting, finding our calm. Great job, everybody. So these repetitive movements are important in resetting our fascia, resetting our nervous system, regulating and resetting through our breath, through repetitive movements, keeping things even on both sides. These are called repetitive bilateral movements, so we're moving both to the right and to the left. We're going to finish with one here at our center, coming back to an easy seat. We're going to practice our bear hug by just pushing here on the sides of our shoulders, swinging gently from the elbows. So the point that we're moving from here is our elbows, left to right. So we're moving very strictly our shoulders, most upper part of our back. Again, I encourage you to close your eyes here and feel the breath as you do so, providing a gentle pressure on your chest here by pushing gently in from your forearms. Chins up. We have a strong and confident posture as we do so. Fully getting in touch with our breath here. For one more breath. Before we exhale, the arms down to either side of our hips. Good job, you guys. So now our hands are here at either side of our hips. We're going to extend the legs out in front of us. So you can take this nice and slow. Our hands are here to either side to support us as we bring our feet to the front of our mat here. So I'm going to start by just pedaling my toes front to back. Similarly to how we practiced with our tennis balls. Just feeling the flow of movement, rhythmic, repetitive, starting from the feet to reset and align our bodies here with the breath. If you'd like, you could pair this movement with your breath by breathing in as you put your toes up and exhaling out as you put your toes down. And each time, try to push just a little further towards your knees, then towards the floor. Extending the foot fully from the side to the front. Great job, guys. And so now we're going to stop at the center and lift just one leg at a time. I'm going to start by lifting my right leg, grabbing on now here to the right hamstring, and pulling it in toward the right hip. So I took that nice and slow so that I can focus especially on my knee here. My hand's going to come to the front of my knee and I'm going to push in as far as I can, as far as is comfortable for me, in towards my hip. So that's the focus. We're focusing on this point from our knee, pushing it in towards our chest to allow the heel to fall back toward our hip. Good job. Taking that nice and slow for one more breath before releasing. Again, hands to the hamstring, leg comes back down, this time fully relaxed. The left leg comes up. Again, we're going to hold here for just a moment, then bring our hands here to our hamstring, pulling in towards our chest from the knee so that our heel can fall towards the hip. Again, my hands coming here to the front of the knee as I push it in towards my hip. Closing in that space between the heel and the hip here. Great job. Again, starting to wake up the lower body, moving into our lower back with this movement. Starting to open up the hips as well. And one more breath before extending, nice and slow. Hand comes back to the hamstring to gently allow the foot to rest. Now I'm going to keep my toes up for this next movement. I'm going to hinge here at the hips, bring my chest down toward my knees, and my here towards my ankles. If you're able, then you move here to either sides of your foot and push up gently. Feel free to bend your knees here if you like. Because again, our focus is closing the space between our chest and knees here, hinging at the hips as we do so to stretch the hips and lower back. Taking things nice and slow, our gaze is toward the floor here, chins down. Allowing full rest in the upper back and neck here. We'll stay here for a few breaths as we do so. Continue your inhale and exhale. As you exhale, continue to push that chest down towards your knees to deepen a stretch. If you'd like to use a block here in the middle, you could use that to support your hands through this movement. Those small ways of supporting your hands through this allow you to focus more on connecting those points from your heart to your knees. Our toes stay up through this movement, feeling free to bend our knees. We exhale, slowly coming back up and bringing in just one foot at a time. I'm going to start here with my left, similar to how we practice bringing our heel toward our hip. We're going to do the same and then come right back down towards the right foot. Again, feeling free to bend the knee, using a block to support those hands so you can focus on bringing the heart toward the knee here, the chest down to your leg. So an awesome story I heard recently was that a ceramics teacher split their class into groups of quality versus quantity. So one group she assigned to make as many pots and pottery pieces as possible. The other she instructed to make the best quality that they could. They found that the quantity side, the quantity group had better production simply because they were focused on the act rather than the result. And so the lesson here is that perfectionism prevents creativity. And when we're focused on being perfect or doing something exactly right, it may prevent us, and that fear may stop us from diving right in. And so as you're here, I want to remind you that we're not here to be perfect. It's not a problem if your posture isn't correct. It's not a problem if you don't want to do the movement at that moment. We're here to show up to connect and calm for ourselves. We're diving in, simply doing, simply being, simply breathing. So with that, let's exhale, diving down one more time. Again, closing that space between the heart and the knee. And then inhaling nice and slow. Back up. Extending again that left foot to the front. And this time we're going to put our hands here to either side of our hips and lift both knees toward ourselves. Taking it nice and slow so you can continue to engage that lower back and hips as you come here with your knees up and feet in front of you. I'll turn to the side so you can see how I'm going to bring my hands right here to my back, closing that space between my shoulders just like so that it can move nice and slow, side to side, to start to open my lower body, my hips especially. And so throughout these movements, we're going to keep our abdomen engaged, just simple squeeze, just by pushing down from the lower back and hips, and making that same tightness that we practice by lifting the legs, maintaining that engagement, because we don't want to be overly mobile here. We don't want to overstretch our hips. We want to maintain some connection with our muscles here as we stretch them. Because we're here to both stretch and strengthen. Great job maintaining that connection side. My hands are up towards my head with palms up towards the ceiling. Keeping the palms open so that the arm is turned towards our back to open the chest. We'll stay here for just a moment, getting in touch with how that feels to make more contact with our shoulders on the ground, on the mat behind us. Pushing those shoulders into our mat. Chest is nice and open here, pushing those shoulders back. Those elbows are at 90 degrees. And now we're choosing just one side to extend the arm towards. I'm going to choose my right side and straighten out that elbow now so that your arm is completely outstretched toward the right side. Simply turning the chin toward the fingertips there. Inhale as we do. Our head comes back up, as does our right arm. Now our left arm will extend towards the left side. Simply allowing the chin to follow. Our gaze follows the left fingertips here. Great job. Again, stay here for 2 breaths. Before coming back up to our 90-degree angle, heads back up toward the ceiling. Now we're going to bring in that bear hug that we practiced by bringing our hands to either side of our shoulders. Feeling that slight crunch as you bring up either side from your mat. These movements are less dynamic, we're moving less. We're finding our still, finding our calm. So here I encourage you to close your eyes. Get in touch with your breath, breathing in from our diaphragm just below the ribs. Feeling our belly fill with our breath, and then empty fully with our exhale. As you exhale now, bring your hands to either side, back down toward the front of your mat. Again, those palms stay up toward the ceiling, so that we're encouraging the chest to stay open and shoulders to stay down. My knees are still up, and I'm going to choose just one at a time now to bring in towards the chest. Again, just gently pushing on the top of the knee, closing the space between our knee and our chest. Maintaining connection in our hip and lower back here, so we're not overextending at all. Paying attention to how our hip is feeling. Usually one hip is a little tighter than the other. Let's find any areas of tightness by just drawing a simple line from right to left with the knee here. And now allowing the hip to lift just slightly as you do so. We're not going all the way to either side or another, but just slightly from shoulder to shoulder, providing still a gentle push on the top of the knee. Taking this nice and slow, noticing again any areas of tension in this hip, any areas of tightness. And if you do notice any area that's a little more tight, a little more apt to staying in one place, not as fluid, you can stay right at that spot, breathing into it for just a moment before releasing back to center and exhaling that foot back down to your mat. If you'd like to continue those dynamic movements, you continue with your hip openers by moving the knees slightly side to side. That same movement we just practiced, drawing a line with the knees from right to left. Now from center, I'm going to inhale to bring the opposite leg toward the chest. Again, pushing in at the top of the knee. You're doing a great job, you guys. Remember, we're here to just dive in, finding our flow. Connect and be calm. Again, drawing those lines from right to left with the knee. Noticing areas of tightness. Again, oftentimes one hip is a little tighter than the other, so take notes of that. Breathing into any areas that are less fluid or mobile. And since the hips do hold a lot of tightness and tension, you guys, you may notice some shakiness. We're okay with some shakiness, but we do want to avoid any discomfort. Oftentimes with fascia release, there is some shakiness involved there, followed by a feeling of lightness. So as you breathe into that, imagine that lightness filling you. Your tension is melting away, and you're becoming more mobile. You're becoming more flexible, and you're becoming stronger. So now we're going to breathe back to our center. Again, extending that foot back down to our mat. This time bringing my hands into the diaphragm, so they're sat just here under my ribs, at the top of my tummy. And I'm just going to feel the breath here for just a moment. Ensuring a full exhale. Beautiful. As we allow ourselves to just be, we extend our feet out to the front. Now laying fully down on our mats, continuing those dynamic movements by pinching the toes in. So crunching them in just at the top of our toes, and then releasing. I'm doing this with both feet at once, but if you'd like, you can practice with just one foot at a time. Nice and gentle. Not squeezing too tightly. Just a gentle squeeze, toes down, and then release to relax up. I'm going to remove my hands from my stomach now and bring them again to either side of my hips, palms facing up toward the ceiling. We're now in Savasana. And here we're going to allow our bodies to melt into our mats. Taking away the tightness first from the feet, then moving up through the knees. If you'd like these movements to be dynamic, feel free to move gently from side to side in each of these areas. As we focus next on our hips, melting into our mats. Both the right hip and the left hip. Now each vertebrae in our spine melts down to our mat, from our lower back up to our shoulders, until we're melting, allowing our chest to open fully and our chins to slightly look up towards the ceiling as we melt out from the head and the arms. become calmer, more flexible, and stronger. Today we come as we are to Christ, again, without worry of our posture, of our ability, of our state or season. Coming as we are this Christmas, this Advent, to celebrate, to be, to breathe. We celebrate this awesome gift together. The gift of a Savior here to save us, and to remind us that we are loved. This week in Advent is all about love, and love can look so differently for different people in different phases. But God's love is eternal and constant, something we can come back to at any point in our path. And so as we're here at Savasana, continuing to connect to ourselves, to our breath, melting into our mat, we fill ourselves with the eternal life that He gives us. Imagining that life filling you with each breath, and as you exhale, we share, spread, and inspire those around us, experiencing the joy and community that comes from the love of Christ. So now we'll start to wake up our bodies just slightly by picking one side to turn towards. So I'm going to start on my left side, just by bringing the heels in toward the hips, moving the knees slightly from side to side, again drawing those lines, and then bringing my right hand over to my left side. So I'm going to use my hands, my palms, to push me up nice and slow, and I'm actually going to stay slightly to this side. So this is an adapted side plank where I'm just stretching my hands toward the front of my mat, using my forearms or a block. Very simply to stretch toward the left side. Taking big breaths as we do so. This is a dynamic movement, so we come straight up into leg, almost as if we're getting out of bed. Starting to wake up our shoulders and upper body. Our gaze follows our fingertips here. Starting to push up from the palms. And come right into a side seat. So now my feet are still on either side. I'm starting to get here to the right side. And I'm going to sit specifically on the left side of my hip. So my feet are facing toward the right, and my weight is focused here on my left hip. Great job, you guys. So we're taking this nice and slow. Again, feeling free to relax and reset at any time. Taking a breath here as we focus our weight here on the left hip. That's our focus first. So my palms are no longer supporting me. I'm using just my left hip to support me here. Once we're comfortable with that, we're going to bring the left hand behind the left hip and the right hand to the left knee. Again, mimicking that same movement we practiced before, our chin follows our left fingertips. So we're opening now that left side with a spinal rotation, a spinal twist toward the left side. Staying here for 2 breaths and then exhaling. Again, reaching the palms down toward the left side. Nice and slow. An adapted side plank using the forearms and palms to support our weight here. You should feel this stretch, especially through the right side. If you're not feeling it, you can go ahead and walk those right fingertips a little further toward toward the left side, providing just a gentle spiral twist here. Again, our weight is still on that left hip, so take note of how that hip is feeling, especially in the left lower back here. We don't want to create any tension or tightness there as we stretch and turn toward our side. Let's inhale, walking the hands back up. This time, moving right to our feet, bringing them back to the front, continuing these dynamic movements, drawing those lines from side to side, noticing any tightness in the hips here especially, as we continue to stretch our hips and spines by, again, moving the feet to just one side and focusing the weight, this time on the right. You can use your hand to kind of push you in that direction, similarly to how we came up from laying. We're mimicking that same movement of just bringing our weight here to the right hip. So my left feet are here on my left side. My right hip is holding my weight here. I'm going to move the palms up again, so making sure all the weight is here on my right hip. Great job, you guys. And so as we're here, again, taking notice of how this right hip is feeling, let's hear another verse of the evening. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us, and we have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. So this verse reminds us that healing is important because blessings await us physically, spiritually. These blessings are here to find us. So our readiness is embodied through our movement. Again, we're walking our hands down to the front of our mat, to our forearms or palms. Feeling that stretch again through the left side of the hip. The right hip is taking our weight here. And if you're not feeling that stretch through the left hip here, you can provide a gentle twist by twisting gently toward the right fingertips here. Again, almost as if we're giving